All right, YouTube, Repo Man 64. Today I want to go into some math revolving around Daniel's 70th week. I hear it come up quite a bit. I've never worked on it, and quite frankly, I have to work I work today, so I have to work for the next 5 days. And I wanted to get this out while it's fresh in my mind. And maybe somebody out there can help with the math. For the most part, though, this information is for the tribulation saints. They will be given a double portion. If they're slightly mathematical, they will be very mathematical during the tribulation. So I want to give as much math as I can for them so that they can figure out things or different things as to when things happened. So I am going to go through Daniel's 70th week to the best I can. I'm going to continue to study it throughout the week. And if I figure out some more stuff, then I'll come on and make a video about it. But at this point, um, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I uh, I I can see the numbers. I can see the pattern. Um, but it's got to make more sense than what it is. I'm left with a 7 year issue. I'm left with a 7 year issue on both sides. In other words, Jesus was not born in 11 BC. He was born in 4 BC, 7 year issue. He did not go to the cross in 38 AD. He went to the cross in 30 AD or 31 because they don't change the year over when they're supposed to in March. So I have this mathematical conundrum that I'm going through, and perhaps somebody out there can take a look at this and make more sense of it. Now, as you know, I don't believe there ever was a 360-day year. The Bible makes quite an effort to tell us that the Earth is rotating today the same it was during creation, and the same it will be throughout the 1,000 years. The entire period of time, it's unchangeable. The only change that was made was during Joshua's long day, and was it Hezekiah? I don't recall who it was, but the sundial was moved back, equaling 24 hours, which is why he was explaining that a solar day is different than a stellar day. Enochian years, 364 days. People will call that a solar day, but it's not. A solar day is 365 and a quarter. Even though, and Enoch was alluding to that when he was here for 365 years. So he was alluding to that. But the fact still remains there's no difference between a 364-day year with the fulcrum point of Earth pointing at a distant star, which is Ursa Minor, and them having to make solar noon every single day and wait 4 more minutes for that time to happen. It's called a sidereal day. Anybody that studies it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a sidereal day. So that being said, that's never changed from creation. There never was a 360-day year. Didn't exist. They'll tell you that it did. Well, take a look at and I think I figured out where they're getting this from. They're getting it from Daniel's 70th week, and they're using 360-day. What they did was they realized the same problem I do, in that Jesus was not on the cross in 38 AD. He was in the cross in 30, we'll say 31, 7 year difference. And what they did was, okay, God must be speaking about a 360-day year. And when you do that, it's 5.3 years less. So it wouldn't be 38 AD, it would be 33 and a half AD. Well, the problem with that, or 33.3. So the problem with that is Jesus went to the cross in March. I already see a problem with it. The problem with that idea is that Jesus went to the cross in March. If we have to wait another 0.3 months, which basically equals slightly over 3 months, it would be somewhere in June or July that Jesus went to the cross, and that just isn't true. But they'll throw that out there as though it's gospel, and it just isn't. I can't find it anywhere where God changed the amount of time. I do find verses that say he didn't. I don't find a single verse that says he did. So I want to go through this again. This is for the tribulation. We're saved already, tribulation saint. We're gone at the point you'll be watching this. You have no interest in this type of stuff right now. You're secure. You're safe. You're in your church. You're donating money. You stop drinking, cursing, and all the stuff that you were supposed to stop. You abided by the law, and you are saved by virtue of your works because you found all the verses in the Bible that tells you, well, you can't be doing this. And it's true. You can't. You can't be doing that stuff, but it is no indicator of salvation. Salvation is trusting in Jesus and Jesus alone. He is the Savior. He is the author of your salvation. So what we see now on this side of the rapture is us looking through a glass darkly. We don't understand completely what we're looking at. We don't have that double portion. That's a blessing God gives you during the tribulation. My job is to point out things to get you onto the path of understanding what's going on and when your time has come. When is the mid-trib? When is the end of the 7 years? When does the millennium start? Does the millennium end? I've done a lot of work and a lot of timelines on this stuff. None of it really has anything to do with the bride. The bride has been looking forward to Jesus coming back in so many different ways with their piece of the puzzle. I can't even begin to number them. There are people looking at the wars over in Israel. There's people looking at Stellarium, people looking at numbers like I do, calendars. There's people looking at just a whole plethora of things, of gifts that God has given them. And that's why the Bible warns us not to look at other people's gifts and judge them. Dreams and visions. Do you know how many people are literally right now? How much work did you do for your salvation? When somebody in Iran can lay their head down, go to sleep, have a dream of Jesus, wake up in the morning, cry, get on the edge of their bed and say, Jesus, if you're real, if we've been mistaken about this Muhammad thing this whole time, will you please come into my heart, save me? And that group of people, that we don't have to do anything. Do you understand? God is in control. We are not in control. These people are accepting Christ with nothing. They have nothing. Look what we've been given. They have nothing and they're accepting Christ. It's the most that right there just catches me off guard when I even talk about it. That is the most amazing thing. Salvation is in the hands of God. Now we can talk about this all day long, but at the end of the day, salvation is in the hands of God, and He's offered you a cup. He's offered you a cup. He offered those people a cup of salvation and said, I'm in your dream. I'm the one that will save. Muhammad can't save you. That guy's dead. That guy died. That pedophile died. He can't save you. He wrote a completely idiot book called the Quran, and he's dead. I'm alive. I beat death at the cross. So, yeah, that's probably that's for me that's insane. That's wild. As we sit here and teach and talk and warn, God's working. God is absolutely working. I I can't even. I can't even. I mean, just amazing, isn't it? Just absolutely amazing, you know? And that's where the parable of the how do you call it? The parable of the workers in the field. They all got the same wage, but they all didn't work the same. You see what I'm saying? They some came early, some came in the middle, some came towards the end, but they all got the same pay. And I won't be anybody. I won't be the one to complain. I am so happy for these people in Iran who are going through an absolute nightmare right now that they are being saved by Jesus. No words, no preaching, no YouTube. They don't even have internet over there right now. Nothing. It's quiet, and Jesus comes in and talks to them. He is the Savior. I mean, we aren't. He is. And that's where the trust is. And that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard of. All right, I'm going to get into this again. This is for the tribulation saints. During the tribulation, you probably did not see this video right now. During the but prior to the rapture, rapture is something silly that you don't believe in. You think in all kinds of other things. You don't think the rapture is a real thing. You are about to realize the rapture actually was a real thing, and it has happened. When exactly, I don't know. I think that's a hidden fact. We can try to figure it out and get close, but I think it's absolutely a hidden fact, not from us, but from Satan himself. Because if you tell me, just like Jesus told that guy, all right, I healed you, don't go tell anyone. And he went and told everyone. I'm the same way. If I find out the rapture date, though I'm told not to, I will be on here telling everybody I've got some good news. This is when it's going to happen. All right. Let me show you the pictures here. And again, we are dealing with, this is information. Whoops. This is information I believe the tribulation saints are going to need. Where are we at? Right here. Okay. I'm going to start off with this like I did in the last video and explain the earth is fixed. No, it doesn't mean it's flat. It just means that it's as it spins in 24 hours or 23.56 or 23 hours and 56 minutes per day to a distant star, 24 hours to our own star. Same thing. 364 and 365, it's the same number. It just depends on your what point you're using. If it wasn't important for us to know that, God would not have repeated it so many times in the Bible. It's said here in 1 Chronicles 16:30, and he has fixed the earth firm and immovable. Does this mean the earth's not spinning? I mean, if you're good, and this is something Kevin told me today. He said, "Oh, they like saying that the earth is fixed and not moving." Then try to explain to me how the earth is spinning on a 24-hour basis and going around the sun. It spins around the sun. It spins. The earth, the moon goes around the earth, but it doesn't spin because it's tidal locked. So, and again, I don't want to get into a flat earth, round earth discussion here. To me, and anybody who respects the round earth concept, this is what it means. It means that the earth will always spin to that distant star 364 days in a year, and it will always have 4 seasons, and it will always go around the sun and take exactly 1 year. Psalms 93:1, thou hast fixed the earth, immovable and firm. The world also established and cannot be moved. Psalm 96:10, he has fixed the earth, firm and immovable. He didn't spend this much time to tell us, and that's why I'm telling you there never was a 360-day year. Not before the flood, not after the flood, not let's call it a prophetic year. No, there's a prophetic year is 364 days to a distant star. That's from God's vantage point, his perspective. From our perspective, it's a regular day, 365 and a quarter days a year, solar noon, solar noon. That's our perspective. Thou didst fix the earth on its foundations so that it never can be shaken. Who laid the foundations of the earth? That it should not be removed forever. Of course, it will be at the end when God destroys the earth. But Isaiah 45:18, who made the earth and fashioned it and himself fixed it fast? In other words, the earth will spin, like I said, in 23 hours and 56 minutes in relationship to that distant star. Add 4 minutes a day to keep solar noon, and you'll have a year of 365. So never was there 360. Never. I can't find it anywhere in the Bible. And I'm going to show you another reason why we can't use that. All right, I just used my background to write this out. I have found four different paths to prove that Jesus began his ministry in 26 AD and he went to the cross in 30 AD. 20 BC to 26 AD, it took them 46 years to build the temple. In 26 AD, there is a conversation going on where Jesus says, in 3 days, I will destroy this temple, I will destroy this temple in 3 days, I will raise it up. He was talking about his body, but he was also talking about the temple. But it took us 46 years to build this temple. You're going to tear it down and build it back up in 3 days? It began construction in 20 BC. Sorry about that. It's warm out here today, at least. Tick's over here eating some cat food I left for her. She likes the wet food. 20 BC is when they began building it. 26 AD is when that comment happened, because the temple was 46 years old when that conversation took place. Now, John the Baptist was killed by King Herod. You can read it. I've showed that verse to you in 29 AD. In September, on September 30th of 29 AD, Jesus went to the cross on March 30th of 30 AD, exactly 6 months later. John the Baptist was killed 6 months prior to Jesus. The temple was destroyed. Nobody will argue this. The temple was destroyed in 70 AD, 40 years earlier. I know there was a bunch of people, well, it was 2 years and 38 years, so it was 32 AD. Well, guess what? That passed. You were wrong. Not judging you, but it was, Jesus did not go to the cross in 32 AD or 33 AD. He went to the cross in 30 AD because the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, and 40 years earlier, Jesus went to the cross. Another problem is Herod dies in 4 BC. Jesus' ministry was 33 and a half years. If you move Jesus's birth any later than this, and you go 33 and a half years, you're going to wind up at 30 AD. If you say it's 33, then Jesus was born in 1 BC, 3 years after King Herod died. It doesn't work. You can't say it, but they will. They'll keep saying it, but they're wrong. 30 AD is when it happened. So I went through the book of Daniel. I kept hearing Daniel. I never worked on it before. And so I said, all right, let me sit down and go through the book of Daniel. And I found an immediate problem. I don't know if you want to write these numbers down or just remember them, but yes, a significant decree to rebuild Jerusalem, just like Daniel's dream was, 483 years, which is 69 times 7. It said that Messiah would be cut off. It says it. Messiah would be cut off after 483 years. The decree, now Daniel has this vision 500 years prior to this, 300 or 500 years, something like that, prior to this. And he said 483 years after the decree goes out. Well, the decree went out 445. We can't 100% trust 445 because they're still switching the year over in September. It actually switches over in March. So we need to know when in March this decree went out. Was it the beginning of March, the middle, or the end? That would, being that close, and God, I think, does this on purpose, but being that close, and here's the reason he does it on purpose. It's because when you count a year, it has to count exact. Anybody, a child, can go outside and count the days each year to get back to the same point we started at. You can use Stellarium. Everybody knows there's 365 and a quarter days in a year. Everybody knows that. It's not, God's going to go back to what he was. He's going to shift the planet back. No, he never shifted the planet. You saw the verses. He said, I never did it. You're saying I did something that I didn't do. I said 5 different times that I wasn't going to budge this planet from creation to destruction. It's not budging. And I personally prefer believing in the Bible over a misinterpretation. 485 years. That's 69 times 7. The decree actually came out in 445. Where does that place us? Well, that places us in 38 AD. And again, like I said, to fix that problem, what people did was start saying, well, 360 prophetic years, and it fixes the problem. but it doesn't because it's 5.3 years. Number one, it takes it away from March. Jesus went to the cross in March. So 0.3, it already removes it from March. And 38 minus 5 would be 35, right? 38, no, sorry, 38 minus 5 would be 33, but it wouldn't happen in March because 5.3 does not happen in March. You know what I'm saying? So, the cat came in and is upset because Tick got something they didn't get. Oh well, hopefully it doesn't turn into a big battle. Um, all right. All right. So 38 AD, 33 and a half AD, 2000 years, 2033 and a half or 0.3, as it were. It takes it away from March. So it wouldn't work. All right. Let's see where we're at here. March or April. They believed it happened in Nissan. Nissan, in other words, started on March 17th. So they would have already switched the year over in September, not abiding by this because that rule came out with Moses about this now is the head of your year. And Rosh Hashanah, you're simply speaking in Hebrew. When you say Rosh Hashanah, you're speaking another language, and the exact translation of that uh, other language is head of the year. And that's exactly what God said. This now is the head of your year. So Nissan 1 is now the head of the year, which is March 17th. All right, let me see if this. Okay, here is the prophecy that I have been working on since my last video, because this is one of the last thing I already was content knowing that Jesus went to the cross in 30 AD, but then I heard somebody say, no, it's 360 days in a year, and when you do that, and I've got all the math to show you how that's not accurate. 70 weeks are determined. Remember, the last 7 years of these 70 weeks are set aside. So it's 69 times 7. But for some reason, God doesn't say 69. He says, now therefore, and know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore the decree, which came out in 4045 BC, to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah Prince shall be 7 weeks. Now, unto Messiah, that could either be his birth, or that could be him on the cross, or that could be him beginning his ministry in 26 AD. Could be one of the three. This does not clarify which one of those three it will be. Unto Messiah Prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. So we have 62 weeks. That's 62 weeks. But this 7 weeks is separated. It's set separate. Even though it's a part of the 69, why are these 7 weeks set separate? Why are these 49 years set separate than these? I think this is 434 years. Why is it set separate? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So we have the 7 weeks, and then we have the 62 weeks, which, like I said, is 49 years. I should have wrote it on there. It's already getting blurry because I'm highlighting. And 62 weeks. Now, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. Whatever this, with Messiah being cut off, it happens after 62 weeks, 62 weeks. If I deduct 49 from that math, this cat, I wanted to give Tick some wet food, but these other cats just won't stop. Go on. Does anybody have an air hose? Psst. All right. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself and for the people. And he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. In the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. So we have we have a couple of mathematical things here. 7 weeks, 49 years, 62 weeks, 434 years. And it repeats the 62 weeks here, but Messiah comes after the 62 weeks. And it says, shall, meaning a future event, he shall be cut off. So what do you think we're looking at right here? After 62 weeks, shall Messiah be cut off? So it almost appears what I'm reading is after this period of time, Messiah will come. They missed him. The Jews missed him. These guys were very mathematical and they missed him. I think they missed him because I think of this misunderstanding, and I think it was off by 7 years. Okay, let me get into all the pictures of the math. Start right here. Get rid of that and enlarge that. All right. Now, plain and simply, 483 years, 69 times 7, it'll be 483 years from the decree. The decree came out in 445 BC. Is it a prophetic year, or what they call a prophetic year, of 360 days? Or is it an actual year, which we all witness and all see and cannot deny? 364 days, stellar days. And that comes up to 175,812. That's how many days there are in that 79. That's how many days there are right there. These cats, I kind of regret feeding her now. All right. Now, 483 years, 69 times 7, using a prophetic, what they call a prophetic year, which again is not accurate, comes up to 173,880. That's how many days are in that. So if I take an actual year and this, what they call a prophetic year of 173,880, I will have a difference of 1,932 days. What they have taken out are God's kasses. They've removed them. By doing this, they have actually removed words out of the Bible, because the Bible says that a kasse is a hidden day. That happens every season. There's 4 of them every year. So if I take 483 years, which is the 69 times 7, and I multiply it by those 4 kasses, we're back to the 1,932. That's what they've removed. They've removed God's hidden days. 1,932. That's the difference. They've, in essence, removed God's hidden days, which I disagree with. In my opinion, there never has been 360 days in a year, ever. There never will be. He's not going back to it in the future. We saw the 5 verses that says it's fixed and won't budge. That's the end of it. All right. Now, I wanted to know exactly how much time that was. 1,932. That's the number back here, 1,932. Let me go back here, enlarge. A little blurry because I'm writing on here. And I divided it by 364 because that's what we know right now. What we know, that's what we know. We know that there are 364 days in a year. That's 5.3 years. 0.3. The decree went out in March. 0.3. You're never getting back to March with that 0.3. It doesn't work. Mathematically, it does not work. You can say all day long that there are 360 days in a year, but go ahead and apply that to reality. And God is very stringent, very strict on when Nisan 1 is, on the barley season, the wheat season, the wheat harvest, the barley harvest, all the harvests. He's very strict. Those two harvests are the only harvests that are planted each season or each 6 months. They're planted. But the oil and the wine, they've been planted. The fig tree, they've already been planted. They were already there. All they have to do each year is produce, but not the wheat and the barley. You have to replant that. You have to take a portion of that and replant that every year, those seeds, in order to grow that crop. If you do this, you miss the growing season. This 0.3 messes everything up. Those 5 years mess everything up. And this is what I discovered. The vision I just showed you was split. It's 69 weeks true, but it's actually 7 weeks of 7, 49 years, and 62 weeks of 7, 434 years. 62 times 7, 434 years. Okay. Why split the vision? Why not just say it's 70 weeks and 69 times 7 of them will be complete till Messiah's cut off, and then it'll go quiet for a period of time until that 7-year tribulation. Why do that? Why split out? And this is a genuine question because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. Somebody out there might know, but why split out 7 weeks of the 69? Why split out 7 weeks of those 69? 69 was the vision. Total of 69, 62 and 7, total of 69. It's 483 years. That is Daniel's vision. So I decided I just wanted to show you 483 is the 69 times 7 vision. 62 times 7 is 434 for a difference of 49 years. 49 years, 7 sevens. When I do 483, 69 times 483, and I go from the decree, which went out to rebuild Jerusalem at 445 BC, it works out to be 38 AD. Immediately, everybody noticed a problem. AD 38, 38 AD. Everybody noticed a problem. That's why they went prophetic. They went prophetic thinking, oh, this'll solve it. The problem is I showed you 4 other paths to 30 AD. This is or 30, 31. Like I said, this could be 446, but 38. I don't know why it's 38 AD. Jesus did not go to the cross in 38 AD. He went to the cross in 30 AD or 31, depending on how you count with the 0 year. 38 AD, it's 7 years off. Why is it 7 years off? And like I said, they tried to fix that problem by saying, oh, he went to the cross in 33 AD. Did not go to the cross in 33 AD. If he did, he was 33 and a half at the cross. That means 0 years when he was born or 1 BC. And King Herod had died 3 years prior to that. So it doesn't fit. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You've got to make it all work. You've got to try to figure it out. This is what I have figured out. Now I have to justify it. This is a fact. 483, the decree went out in 445 BC, brings us to 38 AD. But if you deduct those 7 years, we're right back at the cross. What are those 7 years? Why is it off by 7 years? That's not 5.3. That is 7. If it were 5.3, Jesus didn't go to the cross in March. They're off by 3 months. He went to the cross in July. You see what I'm saying? The decree of 445, 69 by 7 times 7, 483, brings us to 38 AD. Jesus didn't go to the cross 38 AD on anybody's timeline, anywhere, ever. But I noticed if you take those 7 years off, talks a lot about, is that why he split it up? Is that why it's 7 sevens? Is there something going on with 7 sevens during that period of time? Is that why that 7 was in there? And that's why it's split up 62 weeks and 7 weeks for a total of 69. Why is it split up? That's the accurate number right there. Proven many times over. Right there, 31 AD. It's perfect. And the decree went out when? In March. The decree went out in March. in 445 BC. Jesus went to the cross on March 30th in the year 3031, depending on how you change your year over, because they changed it over in September still. Let me keep going. Not only does those 7 years point to the cross, let me show you something else that happened when I was doing the math, which I thought was very interesting. Tribulation saints, you're going to have fun with this. It's 62 weeks and it's 7 weeks. 62 weeks is 434 years. The 7 weeks was 49 for a total of 483. But if I take the 62, 434, because I said, why split it off? And I remove it from the moment the decree went out, I'm in negative 11 BC. Nobody thinks Jesus was born in negative 11 BC, but look what happens. Well, I'm still doing it. I'm still this. I just wanted to show you 38 minus those 49 years, still 11 BC. Remember, 7 times 7, 62 weeks and 7 weeks. And here we are. I did the same thing with this side, which the side of Jesus to get him to the cross on 31 AD. I did the same thing on the other side with the 62 weeks rather than the 69 weeks, or the full amount of 483. I did 434. I deducted from 445, and I put those 7 years back in. I took it away from 38. But I put it back in here to get him from 11 BC to the year he was actually born, to the year that King Herod died, to the year that King Herod killed all of those children. That's the year right there. That's the year Jesus was born. Do you see what just happened? Something's going on here with this 7. That's 2 of the 7s right there. Let me see where I added in over here. Yeah, I take it away here. Brings me to 31 AD, and I add it back in over here, and it's 4 BC. It's perfect. It fits like a glove. Not 360 days. None of that fit. I showed you that can't fit. The 0.3 throws it off from March. It doesn't fit. It won't work. But this does. Now, somebody out there, probably during the tribulation, they'll get a double portion, and they'll look at this and go, oh, I see it. But somebody out there might be looking at this going, they see it. If you see this and you see something here, let me know, because this is driving me nuts. I've been working on this for 2 days. I've been sending everything to Kevin. Kevin made a comment because of the 38 AD thing that the perfect number would be 40, because the perfect number would have been 40 for Jesus to go to the cross. That's a good number for Jesus to go to the cross. But he went to the cross at 33. 7 years difference. Now, he was in the womb for 40 weeks. We're off. You see what I'm saying? It's off. 7 years. The completion, 40. Just like they wandered the desert for 40 years. But Jesus' time was cut short. I understand he was killed in the middle of the week. That's true. But he was 33 and a half. He never made it to 40. He's the door. What are those 7 years? Is that something pointing us? Now, again, Kevin found that, told me about that, and I thought, wow, that's incredible. That's all the math I have for right now on that subject. I'm going to keep looking and keep trying to find other relationships in the math. Short video just for you to chew on that. And again, Tribulation Saints, you guys probably will have this figured out in a couple of days as to why it's off by 7 years perfectly, not 5.3. That just, it doesn't work. There's no such thing as a 360-day year. Never was, never will be, never has been. So take a look at that math and let me know what you think. Take a look at that math and let me know what you think if you find anything. So, all right. YouTube, Repo Man 64. We will chat with you all again later.